this brings us to our next session, which I think the world needs right now. Just before you hopped on, we were talking about the mental health crisis that's going on, and a lot of people are just feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress.
I think, do you know, listening to a lot of people on radio or television, I think COVID has educated many people around the world. They are so educated now in mental health, in psychology, in understanding, in kindness, in happiness. People understand people now. No more, it's helped out. People have educated. We've got so many good, incredible recipes out there that make you feel good. People have become cooks now. I mean, come on.
That's me. That was me. I never cooked anything before in my life, and I managed to make a decent meal the other day. I mean, it's not great, but it was a pretty decent meal.
It's taught us so many things. COVID has taught us so many things to be much kinder, honest, and I think on top of that, brave as well. We've become much more braver as well, and helping each other, which was missing in society.
The other thing I noticed that was good about COVID was how our environment just kind of started healing up. Like there were, there was clearer waters, there was less pollution in the skies. It's like the world just needed a break to heal. Absolutely.
And I think, again, it's not gone away. I know for you guys it has, but for us, we're coming out of lockdown sort of tomorrow. But then we got this new Indian variant that's come out now, and it's targeting a lot of people. There could be another wave. There's a big possibility about that. But hey, we're much more prepared, and I think we're more resilient. I think now with the vaccine as well, and I think we're going to be more resilient here as well at the same time, not just in our bodies. Mentally, we're going to be resilient as well. And coming to our topic now, the 30 tips to help us. And I think because of time, because I'm sorry I'm late, let's do the top 10, Sheila. Let's discuss the top 10. The top 10. Top 10 for all the viewers of Healing Our Earth. And this will help them. And if you don't see this episode live, you can always watch it later on. I'm sure Neil and the team will put that together. But hey, let's just go with the top one. Why don't you start with the first one, Sheila? The first top tip, number one.
So I want to talk about my top tip, which is something that I think is really important, which is exercise. And even if it's just 15 minutes a day, walking around, your garden, or if you don't have that much space, just even in the small environment that you have, dancing or having some kind of movement, because when you have movement, it helps with mental health, right? So for me, I think it's about 15 minutes a day, dancing, some kind of movement that helps. And it really helps with mental health, right, Doc?
Absolutely, 100%. Any form of movement, any sort of change of environment, any change of mindset sort of brings a different type of, I think, psyche to the way you are putting forward your thought process. And that's really, really important. Very important.
All right. So that was my top one. What about yours?
Well, look, I will say there's a 30-second fix for 2021, and I think that's really important. And I'll explain what the 30-second fix is. When we get up in the morning, whatever happens, you get out the right side of the bed, the wrong side of the bed. You're having a good mood or a bad mood, whatever mood you're in. Do you brush your teeth, Sheila?
Well, of course, I'm a dentist.
Exactly. But good mood or bad mood?
Good mood.
Bad mood, would you still brush your teeth?
Yes.
Of course, because you're programmed this way. Now, you do that, the word is consistently. You consistently brush your teeth every day because you've been programmed to brush your teeth regularly because it maintains a healthy set of teeth. Now, consistently. When you go to the gym for one day, for 2 hours, and you slog it out, you come back and look in the mirror, and you think, well, nothing's happened. Well, of course, nothing's happened because you're only gone for one day. But I don't know when. If you go for 2 months and go consistently, even for 30 minutes, three times a week, you can bet yourself that you will see a change in the mirror in 3 months' time because you went consistently. Now, if we get up in the morning for 30 seconds, think of something nice, think of a piece of music. Could be your loved one, could be your child, could be your mother, your father. Piece of music, for example, you know, anything that makes you feel good, just for 30 seconds, hold that thought. Then, I don't know when, but if you do that consistently for a few months, your mind will be set, programmed, and resilient against any negativity that you face in that whole day, because you've just set a foundation. You just set a foundation within your psyche of getting up and always having a great, strong, positive foundation of being in positivity. So when something negative comes, it bounces off. Something negative comes, it bounces off. You will be resilient. So by the time you get to the end of 2021, you know, COVID might be there, but you might have the resistance of basically tackling COVID. So that's the 30-second tip of 2021.
Oh, I like that. And I like the fact that it's something that you do first thing in the morning, and it's going to set up your whole day. And another thing that I find that helps is when you first get in, I know sometimes you get up and you kind of feel stressed out, is to breathe, right? Is to take a deep breath in and then kind of breathe in, which brings me to my second tip, which I think is breathing, the importance of breath. And scientifically, there's a reason that breathing helps, right, Doc? If you can explain the science behind that.
Well, look, with breathing, when they say, when you take a breath, and they say, take your breath in and out, breathe in a systematically way. What tends to happen is you tend to control your feelings at the same time. If you're huffing and puffing all the time, you're not controlling your senses. But while you're controlling your senses, you can control your feelings. And when you're controlling your feelings, you can control your emotions. And when you're controlling your emotions, you can control your actions. And that's why going back to breathing, that's why breathing is incredibly important, Dr. Dobee.
Thank you. And breathing also actually stops the flight and flight response. So the flight and flight response is when you're stressed out, you're kind of, the adrenaline's pumping, you have a really strong system to try and run, it's adrenaline's pumping through. So that's called the sympathetic system. And when you take a deep breath in, it kind of just short circuits that, and then the calm system, the parasympathetic system comes in. So that's why it's really, really important to really take some deep breaths. And for my tip I want to give you is the 4x4x4 rule, which is basically how to breathe. So you breathe in, so the inhale, so it's a 4-second, it's like breathing in, so it's for 4 seconds. Then it's holding for 4 seconds, so it's hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's exhaling through the mouth, 4 seconds. And then you do that 4 times. So it's a 4-second rule. So inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then repeat 4 times. And that can actually calm you down. And it really, really, really helps with just the whole setting you down to the parasympathetic system, which can calm you down.
And my next tip is gratitude. You've got to track your gratitude. And how you do that is just make a note, keep a journal or a diary, as everyone does, and track how many times you've been grateful in the day, and track it. Because it's incredibly important for being grateful for what you have, be grateful for what someone's done for you, and be grateful for what you've seen, seen someone done some kindness. And while you track that, you'll be surprised by the end of the week of how much gratitude there is out there, how much gratitude has impacted your lifestyle, how much gratitude can basically support you as you're going along in life. So that's really, really important. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for basically for what you can basically do for others as well. And what's really important is this: once we start being grateful for what we have, it's not the question of what I don't have. Don't think this, because when you say I don't have, that's when you go into misery. That's when you go into depression. That's when you go have a mental health situation. Count the things what you do have and be grateful for that. And I'm not saying ceiling on desires or cut your desires as much as possible. But if you're grateful for what you have, you won't feel as upset as if you say, well, I don't have. And that's why being grateful is incredibly important. And just see, now this is not scientific now, just see how the universe will work. Because when you start being grateful for things, other things will start falling into place. I mean, one thing I always say to everybody, see the sun in everyone. Then their divine light will shine and reflect back on you. See the sun in everyone. Then their divine light will ultimately reflect on you. If not today, then tomorrow.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I think it's really important to keep a gratitude journal and every day kind of write a list, and then you can kind of go back when things aren't going so well. You can, and it can be simple things. It's like grateful for your vision, grateful for the fact that you can eat, grateful for the fact you can walk. And you can start off with very basic things, right? And then be the bigger things. And that brings me to this beautiful quote that I read. And it said, somebody didn't wake up today, but you did. That's enough reason to stop complaining, and that's enough to be thankful for. Never let your troubles blind you from your daily blessings.
Absolutely.
I like that. So, and so gratitude journaling, and I know a lot of, I've taken a lot of classes from a lot of these top guys that teach about like motivation and self-help, and they all talk about gratitude being so important, like journaling, and even if you're going for a walk, talking like out loud things that you're grateful for, and just speaking positive words like, it's a beautiful day, I'm so grateful for this beautiful sun, I'm grateful for this. And it kind of almost starts rewiring your brain to start thinking and looking for the more positive things. And in fact, the other day I was reading some research, and they were talking about people that complain and they are looking at negative things. It's almost like their brain starts to rewire to the negative. So they automatically, when they see something, they will look at the negative aspect of it. We all know those people that are always out and about complaining, and they just complain, right? So, and then you have positive people that are always like so happy. It's because it's almost like your brain gets rewired to be positive and look at things in a positive light.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree.
So I guess it's my turn now, right? So my thing that I think is really important for happiness and thriving through this pandemic is sleep. Getting enough sleep, at least minimum 6 hours, 7 to 8. Not too much sleep, because actually they're showing that too much sleep is bad for your health, but having a good amount of sleep is really important. Sleep's not only important for memory consolidation, so that during the day it kind of consolidates your memories, but it also, another thing that's really important for it allows things that go through your day to be processed. So any trauma gets processed correctly, the good things get processed correctly, the information is stored where it needs to be, and then it gets pushed to rest, it's all organized, and then you get up in the morning and then you follow your next day. And what's happening is, and maybe you can give some tips, Doc, on how to sleep better, because what's happening is people are getting really stressed out, and then that's affecting their sleep, and then they're not sleeping enough. And then because they're not sleeping enough, now they're getting more stressed out. And if you're not sleeping enough, you can have a low-grade inflammation in your body, which then also causes more anxiety. And there are some things that you can do to really help with sleep. So number one is like, make sure if you're going to have any caffeine, it's before noon, so that, because caffeine can actually stay in your bloodstream for many, many hours. The second thing is these devices, we shouldn't be looking at these in the night or watching TV at least an hour before bedtime, because the light actually causes us to be stimulated and not allow us to sleep properly. And also we want to be making sure we're not eating too late, at least 3 to 4 hours before going to sleep, because if we do that, everything's kind of working in our digestion and not allowing us.
You've just answered all the. You just answered your question.
Yeah, you know me, I try to fit as much information as possible in the time that I have.
So it's incredibly important to always experiment. It's a fantastic moment in life where one must experiment with how, if I want to sleep well, what really works. There's no one way or two ways. There are many ways. But one thing is always clear is the starting of the day, that's a positive. And if you start the day with positivity, you can bottom dollar that consistently do that, by the time you reach the end of the day, you will start doing the right things. You will start doing the things what your body wants it to do. And that's going to be the body, because your body's your temple, as you understand. So, you know, you don't keep your temple dirty, for example. That's how it works. So automatically, your body will start thinking, and the body, mind, and the soul will start, what will connect together. And that's really, really important. But hey, you've answered all the questions there straight away. So
what about you, Doc? What's your next
the next and final tip? I think it's really important. Well, it's more what I really believe in. I mean, I say this to a lot of people, especially now with the mental health scenario, that the human spirit is far more powerful than any drug in the world. And that's what needs to be nourished, the human spirit, with friends, families, friendship, the beautiful and the most simple things of life.
Wow. How do you think people can connect better during this pandemic time and stay safe?
Well, look, depends on which country you are in, as you know. People have became skin hungry, as you understand. You know, look but don't touch. Can I touch? But what will happen? For example, what do we do? You know, before we used to go on high fives and hug our friends. Now we're like, oh, should we or not? Should we, or this or that or what? So there's a situation at this present moment on the earth. There's no right or wrong way. Whatever I say might not, you know, some people do this, some people do this, or some people just do this. But at the same time, whatever works for you, and that's really important. We're not here to preach. We're not here to teach. We're just here to advise. And what works for you, we're just here to advise. We're here to support you. I mean, that's why Neil's got this incredible program of Healing Our Earth every week, just to advise people of, hey guys, this is a bulk of information globally, and this might help you in your day-to-day routine as you're going along in the week.
I think another point we have to make is, even though a lot of people are vaccinated out there, especially with these new variants coming in, it doesn't mean that just because you're vaccinated that you are now able to kind of take your mask off and just be comfortable, because we still have to be very, very safe. Vaccination doesn't mean that you're 100% protected from COVID. You have to still wear your mask and be responsible in that way. So still keep your social distancing, still be wearing your mask, because we just don't know, right? I mean, there's so much.
COVID's not going away until every single person on this planet hasn't got COVID. It's as simple as that. And so that's where we
take a while.
And so at this present moment, you know, with the Indian variant spreading like wildfire in England, it's only a moment, just a matter of time actually, since the wave comes over to the USA. Because again, in the Indian connection, the flights were coming over. So like I said, we don't know at the present moment, but that's why programs like these and projects like these are really important to keep us all connected, to keep us all informed, and for people like all of us to come on board and basically share the knowledge that we have, share the experience that we have, share the information that we have. So it's not one way or the other way. It's only a way that we can all live together day by day, and that's really important.
Tell me, how important do you think is like community and kindness with each other, since you're so involved with the #Kind20? Tell me how important it is for people, for mental health, to give back in the community.
Well, it's proven by Dr. Sonia Lubinsky of the University of California that your immune system basically gets better, stronger by 42% by performing an act of kindness, because it increases your oxytocin. And oxytocin, as you know, is one of that beautiful chemical within us that makes you feel good. 42% it increases. And it's one of your Californian scientists in Dr. Sonia Lubinsky, who's done a study on this for the last 20 years about happiness. And it's a proven fact. you know, when someone gives you something, Sheila, and doesn't want anything in return, you feel good. Wow. If one of your staff came up to you and say, hey, like that video you made, if someone came up to you and gave you something, you think, oh, that's nice of you. When you do something for somebody, you feel good. Okay, you're walking on the street and you see somebody helping an old lady across the street, for example. If you feel, oh, that feels nice. When the mother gives birth to a child, she explodes with oxytocin. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. And that's the whole reason for all of this, because it increases the oxytocin within us, and that explodes happiness, explodes the kindness, explodes the feel-good factor that we have in our life. That's why it's important.
Yeah, and it's been hard because normally when oxytocin comes from like hugging somebody also, and we're not even being able to, like, you know, you can't even, like, I can't even hug my patients. I hug all my patients. I do that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But it's so great to know that you can actually still get that great feel-good chemical oxytocin by
just by looking at someone doing so good in front of your eyes or just on a video makes you feel good. Okay, it doesn't really see an explosion of oxytocin. There's a volcanic eruption of oxytocin like there is when a mother gives birth to her child. There's an explosion there, but there is some sort of explosion when someone does good to you or you do good to them. So go out there and get some good out there. Go and do some kindness to somebody. You feel good. It's good for your body as well.
With your hashtag Kind20 and get involved with what you're getting involved with, right?
Well, absolutely, but not just us. You know, there's so many amazing organizations out there that are doing wonderful work, and it's all about bringing all organizations together to work together as one global family.
Wow. And then, so do you have any final tips? Like, I would like to say something that helps me a lot is going out in nature, like getting a good amount of vitamin D, having sun on my skin. And I know it's harder in England because there's not that much sun out there, but, you know, obviously vitamin D supplements are needed out there, but kind of looking at nature. And if you can't even look at nature, studies have shown even if you look at like a screen and look at pictures of nature, it actually helps, right?
No, it absolutely does, because it makes you feel good. Again, it makes you feel good. You're walking out there, you're walking in nature, you start appreciating nature. You start appreciating this world that we live in, that we must have forgot because of the phone, for example, or we've been too busy. So again, COVID has taught us about appreciating what we never appreciated, or we wouldn't appreciate it if COVID never came into our lives. And that's why it's incredibly important to be grateful, again, to what we have around us. So that's really important. And I just want to leave someone with 4 words, which is really important. It's simple. You apply these 4 words in your life, believe me, life will be so difficult. I mean, so it'll be less difficult and much more enjoying. Love all, serve all.
Wow, I love that.
That's it. Love all, serve all. That's it.
I like that. That's just a nice way to like end our lovely session. Is there anything else that you want to share with the global audience? There's so many viewers out there that kind of, you know, hearing us really helps because it gives them some kind of hope. Is there any words you'd like to share, or any tips or anything that you feel like you want to get out there?
Well, look, first of all, if you can be that happiness for somebody, be that kindness for somebody, put a smile, you know, a smile goes a long way. Just put that smile on. And remember, there's only one ship that never sinks. And that's the relationship of love. There's only one ship that never sinks. That's the relationship of love. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And please, let's make sure we follow hashtag Kind20, get involved with any way that you can out there. Thank you so much for your time, and global namaste to you. Thank you for being here with us.
Love all, serve all.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.